Picture this. A knock echoes at your door. You open it to see a vampire poised on your doorstep, fangs glinting, ages of dominance pulsing through undying flesh, might enough to shatter stone. Yet they pause. They must pause. That humble door frame could be crafted from blessed silver, those scant breaths of space, an unbreakable divide between you and the creature's pallid visage. It's odd that the oldest tenets of vampire lore don't concern daylight or holy symbols or even thirst, but something as ordinary as seeking consent to cross. But how? Welcome to Is It Real? The reason we welcome vampires inside. I recall when vampires requiring an invitation first struck me. I was immersed in Stephen King's Salem's Lot, and the idea of the fiend begging entry unnerved me, more chilling than any supernatural ability. A beast that demands an offer. Why did that unsettle more than one that doesn't? For ages, this peculiar rule in global folklore has captivated us. The threshold isn't merely your home's entrance. It's a line between realms. The lares, household spirits, shielded Roman families and their dwellings. The Romans worshipped Janus, the dual-faced deity of passages, change, and borders, all hallowed to him. In Japan, Ofuda charms defend doorways. Mesopotamians interred trinkets beneath thresholds to repel darkness. But vampires? Vampires warped this primal dread into something grimmer, a reflection of our fears about faith, security, and home sanctity. What's scarier? A beast that smashes your door, or one that persuades you to unlatch it? This video will unravel why this simple edict grips our minds so fiercely. To grasp it, we must delve into thresholds' meaning, how they define safety, and why invitation holds such sway. Before locks, before doors, thresholds existed. That liminal zone between here and out there, shelter and peril, has haunted humanity since we crouched in caves. But why? A gate lacked doors, bars, or alarms to bar predators. Celts placed iron horseshoes at entrances. Egyptians etched wards onto lintels. In Japan, thresholds are stepped over, never trodden. Each culture declared, this space is guarded. What's outside stays there. This wasn't unique to vampires. Ghosts, demons, and wicked fae in the West obeyed it. Something intriguing occurred in the Middle Ages. As Christianity swept Europe, these old superstitions adapted. Horseshoes became crosses. Spells turned to prayers. Thresholds stayed sacred. And there we meet our vampire. Early vampire tales weren't of noble lords or tragic rebels. They were primal. The dread of the dead rising, Eastern European villages whispered of loved ones returning, altered, hungry, yearning to enter. Creatures like the strigoi, more akin to ravenous corpses, were stalled by scattering seeds, salt, or rice outdoors. Strigoi were cursed to count. These tricks held them off till dawn forced them back to graves. Notably, counting as a ward appears globally, like with Japan's Jiangxi. Skip to the Victorian-era, where one book enshrined the invitation rule. Bram Stoker's Dracula ingeniously wove this old belief into a society fixated on manners, and hierarchy. Now, the vampire's plea wasn't just myth, it mirrored rigid class norms. Today, the rule thrives. Interview with a vampire. Salem's Lot, what we do in the shadows. But why? Why does this weakness haunt us? Perhaps because we sense what our forebears knew. The deadliest foe isn't the one who batters your door, it's the one you usher in. Every vampire tale asks, who would you let in? To fathom this rule's persistence, we must examine trust psychology. Permission heightens vampires' terror. Ever felt safer at home than a friend's, though both are breachable? Psychologists term this territorial cognition. I call it the threshold instinct. You navigate midnight halls blind, knowing each knob's place. A knock triggers approach avoidance conflict in our brains. We crave connection, but dread threat. Yet, you protest. I'd sense danger. Chillingly, you likely wouldn't. Studies prove we ignore red flags when trusting. Recall past relationships. Vampires don't hypnotize. They exploit our blind spots. Still think you're immune? In an era of inviting online strangers in, the vampire's rule feels eerily apt. That alluring profile pic, anyone or anything could lurk behind it. Public and private lines blur, yet our instinct to guard thresholds endures. The invitation's power lies in letting us feel in control while stripping it away. Unlike a thief or beast that forces entry, the vampire makes us participate. We open the door, say the words, invite the peril. They don't just invade our homes, they shatter our self-trust. That's why this rule lingers. It turns vampires from hunters into something worse, mirrors of our folly. When a character invites a vampire in, we wonder, would I have fallen for it? The threshold vampire isn't just a monster, it's a guest. That difference matters. Ancient Greece held xenia, hospitality, sacred. Refusing a traveler risked Zeus's fury. Victorian England prized etiquette. So when Count Dracula, elegant and noble, demands entry, he's claiming the deference his rank deserves. To Victorians, Dracula embodied fears of outsiders in a shifting world, foreign wealth, industrial nouveau riches. Vampires symbolized unwelcome change. Today, we still obsess over belonging. Gated communities, curated social circles. We've swapped oak doors for digital gates, but still vet who passes. Social media vampires feast on attention, not blood. They too need consent to drain our time, focus, engagement. Like and subscribe is today's Let Me In. Corporations and algorithms beg entry via cookies and terms of service. The vampire's rule feels less like myth and more like reality. Each era reshapes vampires to mirror its fears, invading nobles, foreign menaces, alluring strangers, digital phantoms, but always, they require an invite. Consider the TikTok exodus to untested apps. For every ping, friend request, connect, notification, each whispers, invite me in. We drown in endless invitations. Apps want photo access. Sites crave our location. Strangers knock at digital doors. The vampire's rule isn't folklore anymore. It's daily life. Like classic vampires, modern predators don't force entry. They charm us into opening up. That's why vampire stories resonate now. In a world of trust and access dilemmas, these ancient tales of thresholds feel urgent. We began with a vampire at the door, but we're really discussing something older, deeper. Every threshold is a choice. Every invite, a gamble, be it a shadowed figure or a screen notification. We're always deciding, who do we allow in? Because ultimately, every threshold poses the same question. In a world of possible predators and possible allies, who do we invite in? And crucially, who does that choice make us?